Now, the news. The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, convened the 2025 Strategic Retreat and Strategy Session of the Emerging Taxpayers Group, ETG, in Uyo, with the theme Harnessing Technology and Innovation for Tax Compliance. In his opening remarks, FIRS Executive Chairman Dr. Zak Adedeji emphasized the importance of collaboration across internal departments and external stakeholders. He urged participants to embrace innovation, challenge the status quo, and work collectively towards strengthening service delivery. Amina Adiola Abbas reports.
This retreat is a critical moment for us to align our strategies, leverage technology, and innovate towards ensuring tax compliance in a rapidly evolving economy, Dr. Adedeji stated. Highlighting the ETG's relevance, Adedeji described the group as a key segment representing startups, MSMEs, digital entrepreneurs, and new market entrants, essential to achieving FIRS's ambitious 2025 revenue targets. He anchored the agency's roadmap on 3 pillars: human capital development, infrastructure enhancement, and technological integration. The coordinating director, ETG, Kabir Abba, noted that the retreat aimed to develop strategic plans, gather field feedback, and design initiatives to meet tax targets.
I'm delighted to welcome you to the Emerging Taxpayers Annual Group Retreat with the theme Emerging Taxpayers, Harnessing Technology and Innovation for Tax Compliance. This I call the grand finale of the Emerging Taxpayers Group Retreat. We have had sessions in Lagos, Abuja, and Kano. The objective of this retreat is to brainstorm on the strategic plan of the group, obtain feedbacks from you, and design innovative initiatives to achieve our targets and serve our taxpayers efficiently. I thank the executive chairman who graciously approved these 4 strategic sessions for the Emerging Taxpayers Group, going by our size and our nature and locations. I also want to use this opportunity to once again thank our executive chairman, whom in his wisdom changed our group's name from Small Taxpayers Group to Emerging Taxpayers Group.
Since its inception in May 2024, TPRU has reactivated 2,970 accounts, leading to assessments of 2.492 billion naira, with 2.348 billion naira collected. The retreat marks a significant step in FIRS's push for more tech-driven and inclusive tax administration system.
In a concerted push to strengthen Nigeria's tax administration and foster sustainable economic growth, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, and the Nigerian Governors Forum, NGF, have intensified their collaborative efforts across the country's 36 states. The renewed partnership aims to enhance revenue generation, promote financial autonomy at the sub-national level, and advance key economic policies. Swateku has that report.
Central to this alliance are strategic initiatives focused on policy harmonization, capacity building, and enhanced coordination to create an investment-friendly environment. This collaboration prioritizes the development of a structured revenue system at the state level, a move deemed essential to reducing overdependence on federal allocations and bolstering internally generated revenue, IGR. Leading the charge is the executive chairman, Zak Adedeji, whose leadership has been credited with strengthening cooperation between federal and state tax authorities. This reform agenda is anchored on a thriving private sector, job creation, and long-term economic sustainability. With a clear roadmap and shared objectives, the collaboration between FIRS and the NGF signals a critical step towards achieving a more inclusive and resilient economic future for Nigeria.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service has engaged the French Embassy in a bid to enhance stakeholder relations and boost tax compliance among French companies in Nigeria. At an interactive meeting at FIRS headquarters, Abuja, the Coordinating Director, Special Duties, Shetima Tamadi, emphasized the importance of the engagement, noting its role in reinforcing tax compliance and strengthening partnerships. The Director, Intergovernmental Relations, Dr. Umaru Idris Ahmed, outlined key areas for collaboration, including capacity building, policy dialogue, digital transformation, and environmental taxation. Florence Mangin, head of the Regional Economic Department at the French Embassy, welcomed the initiative, stating that French companies in Nigeria remain tax compliant and committed to investment growth. He praised the Tinubu administration's tax reform and assured that the French authorities are ready to honor the collaboration. And that wraps up the news. Over now to our Did You Know segment.
Did you know in Nigeria, all resident companies must pay 2.5% of their assessable profits as education tax to support the development of tertiary institutions?
Let's now join Mariam on the Vox Pop segment.
EDT education tax, and as a taxation, I believe it's meant to support education. And if Nigerians are making payments for education, I want to believe it's part of the taxation we are all making. So I would say that I pay education tax, you pay education tax, but then I think at the aggregate level, by virtue of where my constituency is in research and development, Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, is also supporting what you could call education tax, because they are providing support for the research institutions with respect to supporting education and funding of research activities and research facilities within these institutions.
For me, you see, there's in the tax law, there is a percentage of the tax that is education tax. And I think that every organization, whether profit-making or non-profit making, should pay education tax or call it education levy. If you don't call it tax for those who are non-taxable organizations, you can call it a levy. But I think everybody should contribute to funding of education in Nigeria. But in addition to the government at all levels, federal, state, and the local government taking the front line to fund education adequately, because funding education is the future of the country. I don't think that we should play with it at all. We spend money in other things, but I think we should massively invest in education.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Ashu Abe takes us on the Knowledge Zone.
Hello, and welcome to Knowledge Zone, where we give more insights to the conversations we had on the streets. I am your host, Ashu Abe. In this episode, we'll be exploring EDT, Education Tax. Who pays EDT? Education Tax, EDT, also known as Education Trust Fund, ETF, or Tertiary Education Tax, TET, is governed by the Tertiary Education Trust Fund Establishment Act of 2011. This tax is administered by the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, and managed by the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund. Who pays EDT and what is the rate? Education tax, EDT, is payable by all resident companies in Nigeria, excluding unincorporated entities and individuals, and the current rate is at 2.5% of assessable profit. Please note that education tax, EDT, is not deductible for tax purposes. Companies must file and pay EDT alongside their company income tax, CIT. It is also important to note that this tax/fund supports tertiary education institutions in Nigeria by providing funding for infrastructure, research, and staff development.
Hello guys, my name is Sheilo, BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic, and you're watching Tax File. This is where you get all the right information about your tax and all you need to know about the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Keep watching, don't touch that dial. Increase the volume.
And now to our professional insights.
As the Special Advisor on Research and Statistics to the Executive Chairman of the FIRS, my role typically includes providing expert advice and recommendations to him on complex research and statistical matters. So also, my role involves collaborating with the chairman in integrating research activities into long-term plans and objectives of the FIRS so that his decisions will be based on evidence and not on assumptions. This process ensures that his decisions finally are carried out objectively, which in the long run will translate to enhanced revenue collections and tax administration in the nation. Furthermore, my role involves carrying out specialized projects and assignments as directed by the chairman. For instance, conducting feasibility studies, evaluating new initiatives, and researching specific tax-related issues. The Research and Statistics Department is one of the most fundamental departments in every organization, not only in the Federal Inland Revenue Service. They carry out important activities that are fundamental because that gets credibility and trust for the organization. My office works hand in hand with the RSD. We carry out a lot of activities together. First of all, the Research and Statistics Department ensures that the policies and strategies of the FIRS is grounded in reliable data. Now, when you have data that is valid and reliable, and you apply correct research techniques and statistical tools to analyze such data, what you get is reliable research findings. When you give management reliable research findings, they make informed decisions based on empirical evidence and not based on assumptions or guesswork. So these are the type of things that the department do in order to drive data-driven decision-making in the service. Secondly, a lot of research activities is going on in the department. For instance, they are investigating issues dealing with compliance, non-compliance trends, gender diversity and compliance issues, revenue leakages, debt recovery issues, tax behavior issues, tax education issues, tax reforms issues, tax laws and reforms issues, and a host of others that are too numerous to mention here. The only thing is that it takes some time to carry out original research and provide original results because of the rigorous nature of the processes. So also, the Research and Statistics Department have called for internal collaboration with other departments in the service, and they have answered the call. Departments functions have submitted their proposals. Field offices have joined, they have brought in their proposals. The department is working with many departments such as the Fiscal Transformation and Implementation Division, the Debt Management Department, the Tax Data Management Department, the Competent Authority Department, the Safety and Fleets Department, the Building and Facility Department, and a lot of field offices have shown their interest in carrying out this research with the RSD. They have sent in their proposals. They are collaborating with the RSD in providing evidence-based solutions to lingering problems. So for me, this is a step forward for the FIRS because departments, functions, and field offices have realized the need and importance of conducting research and making decisions based on evidence. And this will, in the long run, make a huge difference in the way we conduct our activities in the service. And then definitely it will translate to better tax administration, which will consequently create better revenue collection for the nation. Okay, the Research and Statistics Department applies predictive modeling tools to forecast revenue trends. It is also trying to get the most modern or latest predictive tools for its forecasting use. So what the department is doing is that it is carrying out serious trainings for its staff on data analytics so that they will be able to analyze data rigorously and apply it on the day-to-day activities of research in the department. Through its division of internal collaboration, the department has been partnering with a lot of international organizations like the ATAF, the IMF, the ICTD, the UNDP, the World Bank, and many others, leveraging diverse skills, sharing knowledge, expertise, resources, and having different perspectives on how to do this in order to improve output for the service. The department is also leveraging digital tools in making sure that research outputs are original. How do they do that? We use online materials, we use the AI, to get materials, original research materials. But we do not accept AI-generated papers. What we do is to ensure that the ethics and integrity of research is upheld. So AI is not an end to itself, but a means to an end. So we only use AI to guide us, and then we do the right thing, but we ensure that we carry out original researches in the department. And then at the end of the day, the results that we have, we share it internally so that all departments across the divisions will be able to get them. And then we ensure that selected researches that are not confidential for this of the service are being shared with taxpayers, business groups, civil society, to create legitimacy and trust for the service. So the department has been doing a lot of, researches around that. The research department is doing a lot of work under its director with the support of the CD Corporate Service Group, a lot of support from the Chief of Staff, and support from the Chief Economic Advisor. The Executive Chairman of the FIRS himself, Dr. Sak Adedeji, is a researcher. He knows the value of making evidence-based decisions. And with the Nigeria Revenue Service in our minds, he has shown tremendous support to uphold research in the service because he knows that research and development goes hand in hand. The Research and Statistics Department is thinking ahead. It is thinking of ways it will deepen its data collection and management by getting real-time access to data. The department is also trying to get modern predictive tools so that it will be able to predict forecasting trends using modern predictive tools and econometrics tools. The department has been carrying out trainings for its staff so that in the long run, it will be able to carry out research activities, for instance, on tax reforms, and then be able to apply these predictive modeling tools to model the revenue impact of new tax reforms before they are even introduced. The department will be able to do it with management's support. The department has been collaborating with academic institutions, research institutions, and partnering externally with them through the FIRS Journal of Tax Studies, and then sharing these outputs, as we said, with civil society, students, taxpayers, policymakers, and others. It is also making sure that whatever we get is sent to the management and is also shared internally with staff in the organization for them to make appropriate informed decisions in their operations.
I'm delighted to have you on What's on the Net. I am Joyce Wateku. On X, Do Not Go to Hell is asking a question related to VAT. I went to your office at Aja to register for VAT, and they asked me to come and pay penalty, that it's been 6 months I registered the company, yet the company has no account, nor has it had any operation, and the delay was even still caused by FIRS Aja. Sir, about this, a newly registered company that has not commenced business is not liable to pay value-added tax, VAT, and does not face any tax obligations or penalties. However, once business operations begins, the company must register with the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, for VAT collection. Registration must be completed within 6 months of the commencement of the business or within 6 months of the enactment of the VAT Act, whichever comes first. Failure to register attracts a penalty of 50,000 naira for the first month and 25,000 naira for each subsequent month of non-compliance. On Instagram, Up and Well is asking, what is your official website so that we can register our team from our comfort zone? The official website of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, is www.firs.gov.ng. You can find information about tax filings, services, and other resources there. Thank you for being tax compliant. Over to you, Laurie.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of Tax File. I hope you are walking away with fresh insights and a clearer view of today's tax landscape. Do follow us on all our social media handles showing on your screen now. Until next time, I am Laurie Bala Hassan. Stay informed, stay compliant, and keep watching Tax File. FIRS, simplifying tax, maximizing revenue.